Yo, this remake of Resident Evil 4!
Yeah, this is the remake right now.
On the
so
PS
we're just
Psycho.
starting off with the joke.
Yeah?
Yes.
You said we would.
So we did a playthrough of Resident Evil 4 in 2015. I think it was me, Spencer, and Brandon. Ooh. And I don't recommend going back and watch that because I was trash.
We've definitely upgraded. Ben!
Yeah,
Ben.
we've cut ties with Brandon.
I invited Brandon, by the way.
Yeah, I think...
he was watching me stream Guitar Hero, and he said he might come by sometime.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, but hopefully he comes.
He lives like 2 minutes away from me now.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're obviously doing this because the RE4 remake was just announced. Well, I mean, it's been rumored for literally years, but they finally made a formal trailer for it. And it looks good. Way different.
It was like a 2-minute trailer. What can you get off
well,
of it?
Why not remake the LP, right?
Well, just the tone and the atmosphere is like completely the opposite of what this game is going for. So I think they're going to go for a serious RE4. But I was like, hey.
So since we already did RE4 speedrun, I'm going to call this the professional speedrun.
Okay. Yeah, our first playthrough was not even that great. But yeah, I'm going to be doing pro mode with a couple like challenges for myself. I'm not going to be buying any rocket launchers from the merchant because rocket launchers make this game a joke. And I'm also not going to be using the semi-auto rifle because that also is the best weapon in the game, other than obviously the New Game Plus stuff. But that's the only two things I'm really limiting myself on.
Semi-auto rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so ridiculously good.
The long scope rifle. Okay, yeah. You're right. So you have to use the old school one where you have to click it every time. Rip. Are we skipping cutscenes or are we watching cutscenes?
We're watching them.
Yeah, we gotta watch them.
Where's everyone going? Bingo.
So good.
Of course we're watching the cutscenes.
Ben, I don't think you weren't here last week,
I
but
was not.
we had a big oopsie where Trevor played like 2 hours of FF7 remake, and then I uploaded it and was like, "Hey Trevor, the sound is really loud on this," and then he listened to it and was like, "It was so loud, the game sound, that you couldn't hear us. It was like."
For some reason, just we've had the in-game capture card audio like muted for years now because we just do everything through the mic. But for whatever reason, I guess it was just like unplugged and replugged in and something reset. But did not catch that while I was testing, and it ruined the footage. But we'll be going back to FF7. But I just wanted to spice things up.
Well, Ben will be able to see it then.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you remember Resident Evil's story?
Yeah, this opening is literally
finished.
They're literally like Umbrella. Remember that corporation? The entire basis of this story. Yeah, their stock price bellied out, and they're dead now.
No, not the stock price.
So with the 6-year time skip and Umbrella being dead, it's obvious that Capcom had absolutely zero interest of continuing the story in a serious way.
Wait, are you telling me that killing a whole city by releasing pathogens makes your stock price go down? What about the stock owners?
I can't believe it.
I guess they're just gonna have to eat the loss.
Damn.
It's a good lesson to learn that the only way to combat big business is go after their money. That's the only way.
Use the city they're based in.
Anyway, you know what this is all about.
No big businesses. No, there's nothing located here. We're okay.
Well, nope.
These are my favorite guys.
Oh, good.
I don't think there's subtitles in this game.
Rip. I've been playing this on Oculus. It's pretty cool. Although I can only play 30 minutes at a time because otherwise I get pretty sick. But I played in the mode where it's completely 100%. You can walk around.
Yeah.
And all that.
It looks awesome.
Sounds pretty cool.
I couldn't watch much of it because I can only watch it on YouTube, and YouTube footage is all in 20 FPS. It's unwatchable.
I'm not gonna lie. I just love being able to grab the knife. It's on your right shoulder. So you grab the knife, and then if you want to pull the shotgun, you just reach over your back like Ash in Evil Dead, and it's pretty cool.
My duties are protecting the president's daughter when she was abducted. That's the ultimate reason I'm in this.
Not P guy.
Rural part of Europe.
I remember just
According to our intelligence,
the GameCube era, just seeing that HD, not HD, but the next gen graphic. How good the P Steam looks.
Yeah, especially the Resident Evil games on GameCube look so good. Resident Evil
So
Remake
foggy.
is like both of these games, like Resident Evil Remake and RE4, are like technical marvels of their own, like in different ways.
Remember when Nintendo was like, hey, you know the DVD? Let's make it small. And then they had the mini DVD for the GameCube.
Yeah.
And then games came out that were big and they were like, oh yeah. And then they started using
Yeah,
tubes.
I don't know the story behind that, why they chose that. I'm assuming it was just typical Nintendo fashion of being like, gotta make it weird so it's harder to pirate.
Well, it's-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
That's probably the only reason they did it.
I can't believe with the
also,
Wii and
the
Wii U.
system's a dang cube.
Yeah. I can't believe that they went with normal media for 2 straight generations.
Well, the Wii U it was like Blu-ray, but it was like 25 gig Blu-ray. It was like a proprietary format, so it wasn't that common.
But you know, there was nothing else weird about the Wii or Wii U.
It is really weird that the Wii is like their most unconventional console, but it actually used regular DVDs, but you couldn't play movies.
Somebody
Typical Nintendo.
Somebody asked me that a couple months ago at the store, and I like had to like have like one of those moments where I was like, oh my god, you can't. They're like, can you play DVDs on the Wii? And I was like, oh, you can't.
Oh, my favorite character.
Hunnigan!
Leon, I hope you can hear me. I'm Ingrid Hunnigan. I'll be your support on this mission.
Loud and clear. Somehow I thought you'd be a little older.
Nice.
So the subject's
Oh,
name's Ashley
I
Graham.
cannot wait to see
That's right.
remake
She's the daughter
Hunnigan.
of the president.
And before
Hubba.
and before Hunnigan's just not in it.
Dude, she's gonna get cut so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I hope it is, Trev? I hope that it is the same thing as those 2 people in Metal Gear Rising that are like in like the command center. Were you there for that one?
I don't think so.
There's this like the most minor side story possible where there was this guy and girl working in the command center, and the girl was like kind of clumsy and kept like putting her like coffee mug like right near the edge, and the guy like a couple times would just like move it nicely and wherever. We're like, oh, they're in love, they're gonna fall in love, and then I think it drops at the end of the game and breaks, and we were like, no!
Character motivations.
Character
and arcs.
motivations. I was like Kojima, because that game's story is just ridiculously dumb anyway.
Yeah, I don't think Kojima had almost anything to do with the story or most of production, other than being like the guy who's like vetoed or okayed things.
But then they had to literally put in the fact that she
if you might recognize a girl in this photograph.
kept moving her coffee cup.
This skin textures are horrifying.
I'm sorry, Capron.
Yeah, also
I'm sorry. What?
This is a pretty lazy remaster. The textures, like, sometimes they look okay and sometimes they look horrendous.
Also, I like how
Hold your fire! I'm human!
I like how you have the opportunity to shoot birds before like confirming any hostiles in the area. You're just shooting a bird in a foreign country.
Yep.
Hey, look!
And also, Leon just entered a house unprovoked.
Yeah.
I did.
But it's okay because they're bad. And we're the Americans.
The Pelusia just ran away.
Is everything okay?
There was a hostile.
Another thing about the RE4 remake trailer that's interesting is that they showed off a lot of the island, or not the island, they showed off the village and the castle segments, but absolutely zero of the island. My guess is that they're either cutting the island or they're like revamping it hard, because, I mean, the island is the worst part about this game.
Oh, cutting the island. Oh, I'm getting Resident Evil 3 remake vibes.
Where am I gonna fight regenerators then?
That is true. If they cut the island, they either have to like put their generators in a place where they don't really make any sense,
Un forasteo!
or just drop them entirely, which I think would be a big shame.
Yo, that room where you have to move the dumpsters and get away from the auto regenerators is awesome.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, there's good parts of the island. In fact, I think the first half of the island's pretty good, but everything after Krauser is absolute trash.
I would agree, and I think the only jarring thing for me in this entire game, and that's just how games were back in the day, is like after you beat Krauser, you're like, if I remember correctly, there's a space where you like walk into this room and you're like, you get the larva out of you, and you're like, oh cool, the larva's out of us both, great. And then like 2 rooms later, like the game's over, and then you're just fighting Lord Sadler.
Yeah, and you find the
Spoilers, by
the
way.
lab room just by complete accident. You just walk into it.
Yeah.
It's like cool.
So I played this probably a couple years ago again, and I'm still like so thrown off by like how quickly it ends.
Yeah. Wow, I never knew that was there.
Yeah, no idea.
I don't think I know every hidden item, but I know a lot of them.
That's a really sneaky. Oh, nice trick.
I don't even think it's like visible.
But
One fire stale!
it's so cool how like this is one of the most like critically acclaimed games of all time. It still obviously holds up
Yeah.
extraordinarily well today.
Yeah.
And there's a whole third of the game people are like, yeah, this is trash.
Yo, Trev.
It's also amazing that this game holds up as well as it does. The only thing is, like, every time you go back to this game, you're like, oh god, these controls. They're not bad, but they are so weird.
It's tough. It's tough to get used to. I was watching stuff on Silent Hill games the other day. Do you remember when Silent Hill Origin was essentially an RE4 just straight up clone before they made it like a more normal Silent Hill game? I was so stoked for Silent Hill Origins / RE4.
It looks so bad.
I did, but like I
Origins
don't know.
Origins is the only good like post Team Silent Hill, and it's still like it's fine.
Excuse me. Shattered Memories exists. Thank
No,
you.
that game is bad.
What? You know, people in general like that one.
I hate it.
I
mean, I like it more than Homecoming and all the other ones.
Homecoming's the worst. I think Downpour's a little bit better. But we'll find out sometime, won't we?
I thought there was a snake in one of those.
Snakes don't show up until a very specific part.
Is
That loading screen where it says loading, whatever font they use is the worst thing in the world.
Bad question.
it's
Pay attention to that next time.
I will. It's
I'll take a look at it. Thanks.
near
Alright.
the church the first snake is.
So here's the... Hello?
Okay.
Here is the very infamous and awesome village segment.
Oh, boy.
I can't
It's a
believe
look.
I can't believe they throw you into this like so
I
fast.
know!
Anyway, I'm gonna try to do this the speedrun strat. So you kill this guy for some reason.
Guy in the ass. Well, mostly upper back, but you
Oh.
get peg in the or not. Peg,
So when
that's
I did this in the VR version, the thing I normally do is I go up to that chapel you'll see in the and then just keep jumping up and down when they come up.
Oh yeah.
So enemies can't climb ladders in the VR version. Like they just don't come up.
Oh, that makes it
But
easier.
like time wasn't like going. Like it was really weird. So I had to eventually leave. Like I was just standing there for like 15 minutes, and I was like, "Hello."
Alright, so you want to throw a hand grenade out of this little slit in the wall or window, like very fast. Okay. We're gonna do that again.
See that loading?
Oh. Oh, let's hope he screws up again.
That's awesome.
You gotta see.
At least I can skip the cutscene this time.
You gotta see the loading font.
Hello?
So, is there a reason you're?
Let's try
Hey,
this
look.
again.
Oh my
Dude,
god!
it looks like it would be for like a PS1 game.
Yeah, that's like definitely like
Like-
PS.
And no, I don't know why you have to kill this one specific guy, but it's in the world record speedrun.
And who holds the current world record?
Me.
I think it was like a Japanese speedrunner.
Oh. That's surprising. Wait, so he didn't die, he just fell down, right? Oh, there we go.
Alright, so second phase already. They are so close to the building, so that's why it like goes so fast. So this isn't like the speedrun way. You can actually go down the stairs and go out the window, but this is like safer. Anyway, you just want to hurt these guys and don't die by the chainsaw guy.
Well, or you could die by the chainsaw guy.
You should be good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's based on how many enemies you killed?
Oh! Oh, baby!
Wow. Oh, I thought that was the
Yeah, I did too.
cutscene.
It's just the way that it was framed.
It's probably very close.
Did the grenade kill the... oh, no, never mind.
No. Start the cutscene.
Un foyos.
All right, so if you do it, it like ends right after you throw the second grenade, but I don't know.
Whoa! Oh, right.
We're good. I'm probably like 1 or 2 kills away.
I didn't realize it was based off of kills or time. I did not know that.
Oh shit!
I always went the time route.
Goodness me.
I'm not editing that, by the way.
Well, Leon already said it, so.
Yeah. I assume. I mean, we're very family friendly.
The egg. Oh my god.
Oh, did you see that?
We're good.
Did you see that scythe went? All right, everyone, pause that and look back at the scythe. It went down and then it went back up.
I did not see that.
It definitely glitched.
Really?
Yes, 100%. So, Trev, when you rewatch this, message me and tell me I was right.
Good lord. Ooh. Does professional change,
Man, dude.
like,
Okay, there we go.
the amount of enemies?
The
Well, I
bell.
mean, obviously they keep respawning, but, like, does it...
Yeah, I don't know if pro mode changes. I'm gonna say that it probably increases the time limit or the kill count. Probably both. But yeah, pro mode, the big difference is obviously this game has a hidden like difficulty rank
DA.
system. Yeah, it goes from 1 to 10 in this game, and pro mode always has a game at 10. So there's no like RNG with like.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
There we go. Sorry.
Show it. Yeah. It's crazy. You have to do that before you get the main title crawl.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that's
crazy.
the title drop.
Yep.
But yeah, DA is perma-10, much like other
Yeah, but like
Resident Evils.
if you're playing on normal
Songs are-
and you're really good and you don't get hit and you just kill everything, I think it will eventually get to 10, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
But if you want like, I explained the difficulty adjustment system in the other Resident Evil games I did, but it is very similar in like each game where it's just like play well and it goes up. Rip.
They're very fast, by the way.
Yes.
I think it was, what, about 5 real-time minutes?
Mhm.
And they're like, nope, here you go. You're already burned to death. Oh, okay. Have we done a village run yet?
No.
Why the heck not?
Dude, I'm still holding out for the DLC because people keep talking about it.
Despite the fact that...
It doesn't exist, but people keep talking about it.
Wait,
like
is-
whenever I watch like Bakla Soup do anything, they like the conversation comes up, and that's like a Resident Evil speedrunner, and he's still talking about it. It's like, is it gonna happen or not? It's not just like random like people. I don't know.
No, I actually, there's a Capcom event or some sort of thing, showcase, on June 13th.
That might be one of the very first DLCs I've ever bought.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it if it exists.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like it's so much later. Like the game's already been out for a year. It's like,
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
it was May last year.
The only way I could see it like working is if it's like a substantial DLC. It's like 5 to 10 hours long and it's like $30.
I
Because if it's like a
hope that's the case.
Because
if it's like a $10 like 2-hour DLC, it's like what's the point?
if it's like an, like, you know, back in the day, you used to have a game on PC, usually, and whenever you wanted to make more of that game, it'd be called an expansion pack.
Wait, so you're saying you're hoping for opposing forces for Half-Life?
Opposing Forces, Brood War,
Is Blue Shift or Opposing Forces the one that everyone loves? One of them's like the GOAT. I think it's Opposing
cannot
Forces.
remember.
It's not the one where you play as Barney.
That
So
is Blue Shift, yeah.
I've really been hankering to play the PS2 Half-Life on here.
Why?
That would be an excellent follow-up to Lifeline. 2 great games. Well, one is still a great game.
Two games,
on a
one's
different
great.
platform.
I see. That's the first. In fact, I've never played Half-Life 1 on PC. I've only played it on PS2.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually really like the quick save mechanic in the PS2 one. I was watching a video about the difference between the PC and PS2 one, and there is like some reasons to do the PS2 one. So, I don't know.
Oh my god, I can't imagine the platforming segments.
I mean, you are just used to it, so it's probably
also
less
used to it.
charging. Yeah.
They're waiting for you, Gordon,
So
in the test chamber.
It's like going. Will you do Half-Life 2 on Xbox? Where it has 30 minutes like load screens.
so cool.
Probably not.
They just wanted to stuff as many PC games on that thing
I
as possible.
I really, honestly, just want to do it to be like, hey, look, it came out on PS2, huh?
Oh, also, I forgot to mention, I'm going to be getting all treasures, which is actually kind of annoying.
I will tell you, 100% fact, how many times I've played this game, I've never gotten all 15 of these dumb blue medallions.
Yeah, I know where all they.
serious?
There's 7.
Never once.
There's 7 in here, and then 8 in the cemetery.
Oh. It never, I don't know, I guess I never needed to, because I don't play on, like, Pro or anything like that.
One bad habit I have about this game
The cuckoos are gonna get you.
is that I always play way too conservatively, and I'm like, I gotta. Oh,
Good.
What if he still hit you? That would be base.
that would be awesome. But I always do the thing where it's like, oh, I gotta use one bullet on a guy and then knife him. And then by, like, chapter 1-3, my inventory is full, and it's like, I should have just shot, like, bullets.
Shot bullets.
Oh, hi.
All I have to say is, whenever they have the food lying around, makes me hungry. Those little pots,
Yep.
probably some good stuff in
That's why I
there.
took
Yeah.
a bite.
It's like, they literally go into detail about how it's filled with maggots and stuff.
The one thing that always interested me about the Las Plagas people specifically is, like, clearly they have more facilities left than zombies. But, like, it's always interesting to me when you're not there for them to fight you. Like, they're, like, literally doing, like, their farm work and everything, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
It's
and
like,
I don't think you
obviously-
see enough of that.
It's obviously that they're, like, not as dumb as zombies, but they are, like, definitely lower intelligence.
Yes.
It's interesting, like, the way that they do it.
Yeah, and I guess my main thing is it's sometimes, I guess, tough for me to, like, imagine, like, so they're people enough to still, like, do their farm work, but I don't know, is, like, Sadler, like, yes, raise the cows. Yes, get the hay for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting, whereas normal zombies or normal, I think they have more facilities left than the people in Village, right? I mean, it's been a year since I played that. Not the werewolves, obviously.
I actually don't
Right?
remember most of the enemies from Village that weren't the werewolves.
Well, like,
You have Heisenberg's factory,
Oh, okay.
For instance,
well,
and then
that's just like Heisenberg, though.
and then in Lady D's castle, it's like
they're
more
like the
ghouls.
cultists, and those guys definitely have less facilities
Yeah.
than these. So
They're ghouls, so they're definitely different than the Lycans.
Actually, yeah, I think all of them are. Everything that's significantly like transformed is just not as smart,
been
or does not have the faculties of.
and these guys are like pretty much on par with RE5. The
Wait, did I get the
villagers of
Yeah.
Did I get the beer stein? I did not. Okay.
I guess the villagers, so to say.
I didn't even know you could walk back up this.
Yes, you can. Thankfully. Oh,
What
they're
the
still.
hell?
Wow.
They're still on the cliff. I never knew that.
Wow.
TIL.
How many? It's 2004, right?
Yeah.
Or two,
This
No.
came out January 2005.
Yeah.
2005.
So like, it's almost a 2004 game.
Wow. That is.
Talk about a death blow on release. You're releasing it on a dead platform. 2005 GameCube.
Trev, do you remember? So Capcom had this like huge thing with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Do you,
3 games.
Yeah, the Capcom 5.
the Capcom 5. Do you remember all 5 of them?
Killer 7, this game,
Of course.
Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil Remake, and 0?
Yes.
No, because one of them definitely is Piano 3.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know if I don't know what the fourth one would be then. You said Killer 7. Hold on.
Killer 7, Beautiful Joe. I think it's got to be Beautiful Joe.
Yeah.
But wait, that also got... Did that eventually get ported to
Yeah, that
PS2?
got ported to PS2
Well,
later.
I mean, as did 4, obviously.
Yeah.
But Piano 3 never did for, I think, reasons that are maybe obvious. Which is that it's not very good. Or popular, I guess.
Oh, the reason we didn't get the fifth one is I don't think it exists. Dead Phoenix was going to be a 3D shoot 'em up. I guess that's kind of unfair. We technically got him because I don't think I've ever heard of Dead Phoenix.
Oh my god.
But yeah, whenever GameCube is, there's a lot of systems that are like, hey, remember this game? But like every time I see Piano 3, I'm like, this was a big deal. They called it the Capcom 5.
Yeah.
Like this was announced with like Killer 7 and like, you know, all that stuff. So it's, I don't know, it's
Good god. But I
And
definitely got that at least once, but like...
I know nothing about
it's a
Piano
nice
3.
treasure.
What, the Cat's Eye? Yeah, there's 3 of them for the Beersteins.
Yeah.
Nice.
Piano 3 was like just a...
I played that game, and it's like one of those games that I could definitely see reviewers, like, because they only play a game for like 5-10 hours, being like, this game is garbage. But like, once you get used to the controls and stuff, it's like a lot better. It's still not a great game, but I sort of had fun with it when I was playing it. But it is a very, very weird control scheme.
Do you guys remember the period of like 2 years when every other game was about like being a ghost and entering someone else's body, like Geist and Second
Geist era.
Sight, and it was like the Geist era. Like literally, like they were like, "Oh, Geist is the big thing." And I remember like hearing about Geist and Second Sight and being like, "Well, that's the best idea for a video game I've ever heard." And then I think Geist ended up being like a What Happened by Matt McMuscle, so that tells you a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, the game ended up being not great, and it was a GameCube exclusive, like...
Do you know what game legitimately uses that Geist thing is Agony, the game that everyone hates from, like, 2018.
Yeah.
I played that and beat it the whole way through, and it legitimately does that thing. Because you're like a wandering spirit, and you can just go in, like, any low-level thing and some high-level things. And I'm like, why can't a game just... I don't know, it would be lovely to see that.
Apparently, Possession is not that fun.
It's just one of those mechanics that, like, has endless possibilities, but it's like, what can you actually program well into a game?
So
And it's like one of those ideas that sounds awesome in, like a drawing, like, board.
this is me, and this is Ferris.
Yeah.
In Agony, Trev, what happened is, like, for 80% of the game, the only thing that you can possess are, like, the most low-level hell creatures. So all they can do is, like, walk and die. And then near the end of the game, you, like, get, like, essentially, like, a Baron of Hell is, you know, what you end up in. And you're like, oh, this is awesome. But at that point, when you do it, you're like, for what reason would I have to stop being this Baron of Hell? So they have to find a reason for you not to be, like,
You have
this
to go
amazing
through a
thing.
small hole.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's been a while since I played it, but like once you, like once you're like a cyber demon, how can you ever like not possess a cyber demon? You know. You know what that kind of reminds me of, Trev, is Wario Land 3. You know how they have to give you very specific reasons to like become the vampire bat, become the zombie to get through. It's kind of like that.
Although I think the difference there where Wario Land 3 succeeds is that the transformations are very situational and are actually a detriment for most of Wario's like core abilities. Because you never want to be a zombie because like you go so slow you can barely jump, but you can go through like semi-solid platforms when you jump. And that's the only good reason, and you're invulnerable. But otherwise you want to be normal Wario. And I think that's most of the power-ups in Wario Land 3 in a nutshell.
The final boss, if I'm remembering correctly for Agony, you literally just like this huge demon, you just like are it, and then you just go and fight another huge demon, and it's like Godzilla versus Godzilla, and you're like, what is this game? It's legitimately one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's too good for a kid.
That's cool.
And I beat it the whole way. And you know the worst part? Do you remember Doom 3? How Doom 3 is like really dark? Like,
it's like
imagine that, but with
the
no
flashlight,
no light sources because it's hell, and everything looks the same because it's hell.
This is me.
Do you know that the engine that Doom 3 was on they only made like 4 or 5? I think it's Crytek. No, not
No, it's
Crytek.
InTech.
Oh, okay.
All the Doom games are like on various InTech.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
technically, like Doom 1 is like InTech 3 or something.
really? Because the game Prey from 2006 apparently is one of the few games that uses this engine or whatever it is, which was. No, it might have been only Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil, but I might be wrong there.
One of my favorite engine stories is the engine used for Deus Ex, Thief 1, Thief 2, and System Shock 2. I think it was called like the Dark Engine or something like that. 4 of the best games of all time. Never used for anything else.
What? Do you know my favorite story on an engine? Okay. So, the Battlefield engine, what's that called again? It's not called DICE, is it?
Oh, what?
What's the Battlefield engine?
Frostbite.
So,
At least it was.
Madden up to 2013 had like this specific engine that they had made for like football games specifically. And after 2013 they started using Frostbite, which is exactly when the game started being But could you imagine using an engine for a freaking first-person shooter for a football game? That's what they did.
Was
Stop it.
insanely good in Bad Company too.
That's fine,
Yeah.
and it's a fine engine, but I'm saying they used it for a football game.
What happened?
And they've been using it ever since for a football game.
Do you have a fix
Okay,
on the
so-
And for what I understand is the previous Madden games were all physics-based,
Yes.
and the newer Madden games are all animation-based, which is just like the opposite of what you want in a sports
Yes,
game.
100%.
I'm
Which
not
is,
saying that's specifically the engine's fault, but the new Madden devs are trash.
well, that's why you know that All-Pro Football 2K8 for the PS3, Trev? That's why that game's so expensive, because it's literally physics-based, and it's awesome. Like, it's how football would be, and not some animation garbage.
So the InTech, they didn't used to call them InTech.
Merchant, the best character.
Up until Prey, when they retroactively named all their separate engines, like InTech 0 is Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh, okay.
InTech 1 is Doom.
Wait, they made Prey?
Rage, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you mentioned Prey.
I did, yeah.
So that's threw me off. InTech 2 is Quake. InTech 3 is Quake 3. InTech 4 is Doom 3.
Ben, would you like to know a fun fact about the game Rage?
What is that fun fact?
There's a scene.
I swear I'm already missing a treasure, but I don't know what it is.
There's a scene in Breaking Bad where
You get the big trout, or is that not yet? No, that's coming up.
Yeah, and also I probably
Also not a treasure.
and I probably won't be getting it because
so there's a scene in Breaking Bad where Jesse's kind of like losing it, and he's just like sitting there like mindlessly playing video games.
Yeah.
And the game that he's playing is literally Rage, because it probably came out like within a couple months of that episode coming out. Of all games to be like the game that someone's randomly playing, it's freaking Rage.
Oh my god.
dude, RE4 is I don't know how it is for other people, but RE4 is one of those games that every time you get to a room, you just start dreading it, and you're like, I hate this game, I hate this room, and then when you're done playing RE4,
Will that be next week when you'll do The Room?
Yes. Everyone knows the room.
Yeah,
What's it called?
The
What's it
water
officially-
room.
The water room. The Room. For me, number 2 is the double. If you don't use a rocket launcher, is the double blind guy room. That is like that is from hell.
Wait, I think there's an easy way to. Actually, now.
No,
that I
there's
think about
not.
it,
Not without a rocket launcher.
Actually, you're right. I'm actually thinking of like immediately taking one out with a rocket
Yeah,
launcher.
that's what everyone does. But if you don't, and like, I know you can do it without it, but
Yeah.
I've never beat that room without immediately taking one or both out with a rocket launcher.
I'm not.
The thing is.
I guess you will.
Never
Yeah, I
want
won't, because I'm not going to be buying any rocket launchers.
Rip. I think I tried it once because I was low on money, and after like 15 minutes, didn't have either dead, and I was like, cool, never mind.
So, just going back to your earlier comment about
Yes.
like there being like 4 games based on the Doom 3 engine, which we now know is the Tech 4. Other games using this engine are Quake 4, Wolfenstein 2009,
Okay.
Prey,
Okay.
Enemy Territory Quake Wars,
Okay.
so
That's already 4.
and 2011's Brink. Remember Brink?
Remember Brink? I worked at, I think, another local game store when that came out, and I remember it being, like, a big deal for about a day, and then everyone was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, everyone was like, this is terrible. Never played it.
So it was 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 5. It's...
For me, that's close enough.
Is there, like... There's gotta be a mechanic where, like... Where, like, if you're... They won't kill you from, like, a certain health if it's not, like...
Yeah, if your health is full, or more than halfway of the full, like, bar,
Yeah.
then you can't die. But if your health's in green, but it's not that high, you still can die in one hit.
Yeah. Unless it's, like, obviously, like, a one
If it's
thing.
full, like at this point, I can't die from one hit, I don't think. But some of the later like bosses, especially on pro mode. Another thing about pro mode is that you can't buy the tactical vest, which decreases damage by 30%. Just does not exist in pro mode.
I forgot that existed.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
once
I
you play
always
on,
play in pro mode.
yeah.
All I have to say is, I don't play video games on hard mode. Life is hard mode.
It's true.
I saw it was one of the first tweets I ever saw that I was like, this is a cool tweet, and someone said essentially that, but a little more eloquent. It was like, I don't play video games because they're hard. Life is hard. I play video games to have fun, and I was like, whoa. And then all the Dark Souls people were like, Ree!
Yeah, you know what? I still haven't beaten Elden Ring. You know what? Actually, I really need to do that.
That was a great end to the story.
No, I got distracted midway. I was just thinking.
And
like,
you know what? Actually, yeah.
No, I'm using the thing that everyone hates because it's like, oh, you're basically creating like a second you, the mimic tier that has way more health and does not a whole lot of damage, but like.
I mean, Souls games cheat at you, so you cheat against it. That's the entire point of Souls.
But the thing is, like, the Souls players will be like, you know, call you. You're not playing it the right way.
Can I ask you an honest question, Ben? Do you care in the least about the opinion of anyone who's a Souls fan? Does it bother you at all?
Well, I mean, this is like my first Souls game, so not really.
Yeah.
I don't care.
People that only play Souls games and like, I don't know, it just seems like if you're like a hardcore Souls fan, you only play Souls games, and it's like those people, whatever, they don't matter. But I don't hate them as much as Spencer does, for sure.
I don't hate them. I just can never play them.
I think some of the games are fine, but it's like one of those things where like, man, do they get so inflated, like just reception.
You know what?